I think I had just turned 20 or 21, 2016.
You're 20 what now?
I'm 29.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man, 29 looks really good on you.
So sweet to me.
I legitimately thought you were my age.
No, I'm just a little bit older. I try to stay young so I don't get too old.
Wow.
I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
Yeah, I seriously thought you were my age. Is there anything else I'm leaving out that you?
Yeah, you're making me feel old, Harold.
I just automatically assume everyone's my age.
That's fair.
Is there anything else you've worked on that I'm forgetting about? I know IMBD normally doesn't show everything. Go ahead, take it away.
So, I think if I remember them in order, which I probably won't.
Okay.
But I think the first real thing I worked on, like not real, everything's real. It's all real. Everything you work on is relevant. But
high budget, like
yeah,
multi-million-dollar.
Yes. Okay. So Street Outlaws, that like car racing show.
Okay.
I worked one day on that when I was in college.
Where was that filmed?
That was filmed out in Okemah, Oklahoma, which is kind of like between the middle of Oklahoma and the border of Arkansas.
Oh, I forgot to mention you're also from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma.
Represent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little small town kid doing the things. Yeah, so I worked on Street Outlaws. That was kind of cool. I worked one night on that. It was like an overnight shoot. My shift, like my call time was like 10 p.m.
Bro, overnights are the worst.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I did overnights was in Los Angeles on a short film, and we started at 5 in the evening and went 5 in the morning. And I was a PA, and you know when the 12 hours hits, that doesn't mean you get off. So nope. I was getting off at like 7 to 8 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was rough.
Dang. That's awful. That's awful.
I know. But it was only 4 days. So I think it was quick, easy, dirty, got it done, and we were out of there.
Dang.
So Street Outlaws in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What else?
So I did the Street Outlaws, and then I think the Coppola thing was just before that, actually. So the Coppola thing, Street Outlaws.
What's Coppola?
Oh, the Coppola thing was the Distant Vision thing. Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then after that, I had a little break. I was finishing my last year of college, and then right when I graduated, I packed all my stuff, threw it in a U-Haul, and drove to New York with like $1,000 in my bank account.
Okay.
Mistake.
That goes like 15 minutes in New York.
Oh yeah. It was awful. I slept in a U-Haul with my girlfriend for like it was like a week and a half before we got an apartment.
She's a real one, dude.
No, she's the coolest. She's super cool.
U-Haul.
We slept in a U-Haul.
So what did you do? Just like blankets in the back of the truck, or how?
Yeah. We did a couple. Well, it felt like we did a couple of nights of that or something, and then like we ended up staying in a hotel, and we stayed with a friend, and it was like a blur. It was like the blurriest week and a half of my life ever, because it was just everything was in full panic. We had no idea what we were doing.
Did you hate it, or you just was in the like mindset of like getting it done?
We're just like, we're gonna go to New York. We didn't have a plan or anything. We're gonna go to New York. That's where we're gonna like work on film stuff. And we were there, and we did end up working on film stuff. I feel like before we even got moved into anywhere, one of our friends had a little project that she was shooting in Brooklyn, so we went and helped her with that. Mm-hmm. It was like a dance-oriented film piece. It was, I think she shot it on 16 and then mix of like digital stuff. So that was really cool. So we moved to New York. I moved to New York. We moved to New York. Same thing. And then my first job in New York was on Law and Order.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. I will say, though, to this day, it's the second worst set I've ever worked on.
Everybody says that about maybe multi-million-dollar shows are that big that like just no, stop, don't even talk about it. It's bad.
Yeah. That's how it felt. Like that's how it felt. It was like, well, it was my first day on like a big set in New York. So like the energy in New York is already like way high, and so it's like if you step out in the morning, like out of your door, and you're not ready for the day, like the city would just like.
It's gonna slap you. Yeah.
Just knock you out, and you're just like, you're probably just gonna have a bad day, and then it's just whether or not you're ready to just like kind of have a bad day, have a good day, have a bad day, have a good day. You just get in a flow. The energy is just like crazy high though, and that translates on like the sets up there too. Like everybody is just in like full hustle mode.
Go mode.
Oh yeah.
So how many days did you work on Law and Order?
So that was my first show. My Law and Order, I did, I think with that one, I only did like 2 weeks of that before I was like, wow, I hate these people.
I believe it. I mean, you're working with people that have worked on everything that you could possibly imagine. Like,
yes.
It's been on television, so they're used to it. It's nothing to them to step on set and just, you work on Law and Order. But yeah, last week I was also on Black Panther 5. So
right.
So it's just, that's their deal.
Exactly. Yeah. That was crazy. It was like Law and Order was cool. That was my first time as like an additional PA. Okay. That was my first like, hey, here's your call time. I wasn't even on the call sheet. It was like, we're going to pay you like $100 to show up. I got there, somebody handed me a walkie, and this was my first time to have like a real walkie on set. And I was like, I don't even know how to turn this thing on. And so that was my first like, it was a train wreck for me. I remember I got yelled at so much, and like it was a bad first experience for me because I was like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah, it's kind of scary at first, isn't it?
Yeah. And then it ended up like I worked on that, and my key PA at the time had passed my name to a couple other people, and I ended up finally landing with like a good group of people that I kind of worked throughout the rest of the time I was in New York. So I did Law and Order, and then I did a Netflix series called Dash and Lily. Okay. I think it was like the third reboot.
Oh, what season of Law and Order did you work? Do you remember?
It was Law and Order. Oh boy.
What year was this?
Oh man, am I allowed to look it up? Wait, on my phone.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
FBI. It was FBI. I think it was FBI season like 8.
Okay, 8.
Yeah, maybe 8. Season 4, season 8 was an even number. I know that.
So they're on like season 30 now, or
because they have like Law and Order like CSI, CIS, SUV or SVU. I can't remember the proper letters sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
I got FBI, Law and Order, Hawaii Law and Order. Yeah. So it was just like one of those. But a couple of the days that I was there, Dick Wolf, the guy that created Law and Order, he was there for a couple episodes.
He's cool.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like, it's cool when you walk on set. You can tell like when there's somebody that's like very respected as like a director or executive producer. Like everybody, like they come on set and it's not like a fear strikes everybody, but everybody's like,
it's well respected.
Yeah, like oh my gosh,
kind of like with Hiram on our show. When he comes to set with The Rock, it was mind blowing. I was like, well, you've literally been on everything.
Yes, exactly. So like that was super cool. But
how old is he?
Do what?
How old is Dick Wolf?
Ooh, shoot. I don't know. He's got to be in his 70s by now, right?
He's 100.
he's 100. He's 150 years old. He's just not going to die. He's eating that wealthy secret potion of some sort.
Whatever they have up there. Yeah.
Right. But that was cool. Law and Order. But I mean, as a first experience in New York, like it was chaos, and I was like, wow, I don't even know if I'm gonna do anything after this. And then, like I said, like I got a couple other good shows after that with like Netflix. I did a couple days on The Blacklist.
Okay.
That was very neat. I had 2 days that I worked on Uncut Gems.
Really? With Adam Sandler?
Yes, with Adam Sandler.
That was amazing.
That was cool because the 2 days I was there, there's the scene in the movie where the guy like punches him in the face and then he falls into like the fountain. Okay. Which I think is now like the Chase. It's like the Chase Bank fountain or whatever. It's right across the street from.
Where he puts the girl in the car.
What's that?
Where he puts the girl in the car, right?
Yes.
That whole scene. Okay.
Yes, that whole scene. And like that day that I was on set was crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So the Safdie brothers, they're like, they're very much. They want to just do hands-on because they're always like they're like indie filmmakers through and through. There'd be like parts of the day where they'd be like, "All right, PA staff, let us know if you see the brothers go outside. Just let us know ASAP." There's 2 of them, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And at first I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. We just let them know if they go outside." I didn't really think it was for any particular reason. The reason is that these guys would literally pick up one of the cameras off the camera cart and like have like their own sound unit, like what you've got set up here.
Yeah.
And like they just grab one of the actors and be like, "All right, we're gonna go do this thing," and they would just take off.
Do it real quick.
Take off, yeah. And so like straight up, like we walked out of set. We were outside this big like kind of like office building, and I'm one of the additional PAs, so I'm just kind of locking up outside for noise, whatever. Nothing.
It's always crazy as a PA because you're always locking up crazy stuff like hey, go lock up the street of Manhattan. And you're like, there are 1 billion people out here.
Right? Like, you want me to do what?
Yeah.
So it's like, it was nuts. Like, yeah, wow. They ran out the front doors, and I was like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm still like trying to learn how to proper walkie.
Talk,
Yeah, and I'm like,
language.
the brothers are outside, and they're outside sprinting with Adam Sandler running down the sidewalk towards like Fifth Ave.
In the middle of New York.
In the middle of New York.
Are people stopping Adam Sandler trying to speak to him?
No, because they like he's in like that full, like, he obviously looks like Adam Sandler, but he's like a really kind of rough look and uncut gems. Yeah, and like honestly, they were just running. So like most of the time you see anybody running in New York, you kind of just like move because you're like, I don't want to be a part of any extra crazy that's happening on the street.
Right.
And they were just like hauling ass running down the sidewalk. And like one of them's got the boom, and they're just like, and the other brother's just like running with the camera. And I was like, what is happening? Is this normal? This is like the first time I've ever been on like any crazy big movie.
Right.
And these guys are just like taking off with, probably like one of the most popular, famous actors. Like of our,
right.
We know, everybody knows who Adam Sandler is.
Yeah.
And so that was just like the first part of the day. And then, yeah. I mean, we had push. Like in New York, you don't really like load up the trucks and move very often. It's like you just push the carts 6 blocks or something, So and the PAs are just like, pointing everybody and making sure nobody's getting hit by cars.
You remember a day on set? I don't know if you were on Tech Scout or something, and we were shooting at the Peabody, and they wanted everyone to go down to like Jack Tucker Alley where they shot Saudi Arabia, and everyone was complaining about walking a block.
Right.
And you're talking about pushing carts for 6 or 7 blocks.
Yes.
Down the street.
Yes.
And everyone's just like, yeah.
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
Like on a good day, the camera truck might load up and move down, but everybody else, not a chance.
Wow.
Or like, we're pushing like the grip and electric boxes, trucks, every piece of rigging equipment you can think of, it's all going down the sidewalk. And so we're just like walking with the crew and pedestrians. Like in New York, like the people there are so used to production because like you can go like 4 or 5 blocks and you're gonna see like the working trucks for just different shows.
Okay.
And they have like the location signs like y'all have, just like shooting here, here's our permit. And they're just
so they put it on the sign.
Yeah, there's just like on like the telephone poles, on the walls, on the streets, like on parking signs.
Because people freak out in smaller towns when they see filming.
Right. Like, we'll get like a crowd to come and watch. Yeah. And be like, oh, what's going on? And we're like, oh, we're shooting, something nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
And then in New York, it's just like nobody even bats an eye. Like it could be like
Beyonce walking down the street.
Right. Yeah, it could be like Beyonce just like on the sidewalk, and people just like walk by and like, eh.
That's crazy that they're so immune to it. It kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of cool though because I feel like New York, it's like, especially if you're like on set, it can feel like you're getting to experience the city. Like for me, like I was new to New York, so I was getting to like experience the city by just like showing up on a location every day, to somewhere in the city that I'd probably like never go visit for any reason that I had.
They've been there 100 times.
Yeah.
That's
and so it's like we'd be like shooting like really cool neighborhoods, like Hell's Kitchen and stuff, and we're like all over the place over there, and that was cool. But goodness, I did